So please help me welcoming Natalie Abbott to the stage.
Thank you, Patricia.
Pictures naked.
I am honored to share my story with you today. Many people can point to a moment in their lives that defines their goals, sets their priorities, and shapes their future. I could not have known that 5.5 years ago, my own personal cause was about to be delivered to me. After more than 2 years of trying to conceive, my husband Gary and I were excited to be expecting our first son, our first child actually. Grant, our 5-pound, 3-ounce baby boy, quietly entered our world on May 30th, 2006. With the exception of being tiny and never crying, everything seemed perfect as we excitedly headed home to start making memories together as a family. At 4 months of age, Grant weighed 8 pounds. He was off in a normal growth chart and continuing to drift further from it by the week. We measured every ounce in and every ounce out and worried daily about his lack of growth. Developmentally, our sweet baby was behind as well. No cooing or smiling or grabbing at things, and his hands were always clenched in a fist position. We needed answers. Our pediatrician referred us to a neurologist. We quickly began to realize that our lives with Grant was going to look much different than the lives of most families. When our precious Grant was 6 months old, we got the official diagnosis that he had a rare and random chromosome disorder. There are fewer than 20 cases like Grant in the world. The geneticist had limited information on his prognosis. The reality is, not even the experts know what to expect or what his future will look like. For those of you that don't know us, Gary and I are your typical type A personalities. We were not accustomed to things not going according to our perfectly laid out plans. Our lives were changed forever. It was devastating. I was overwhelmed, lost, alone, and heartbroken. Shortly after getting Grant's diagnosis, I received a card in the mail from a dear friend. It had a quote from Maya Angelou on it that read, "I can be changed by what happens to me. I refuse to be reduced by it." Maybe things had not gone according to our plan, but I knew it was time to revise my plan. It was time to take action. It became clearly apparent that I had a lot to learn. I did all of the right things, therapy, tests, evaluations, and so much more. However, one of the best things I did was attend Mobilizing Families presented by the ARC. Mobilizing Families was a priceless gift in my life. The training series included sessions on a variety of topics and resources that would sustain and nurture our family throughout Grant's lifetime. Now, if your life goes according to plan, you never have to learn these things. Luckily for us, there was a place that could hold our hand, guide us, and teach us what we needed to know as we raised a child with special needs. Mobilizing Families has empowered me in countless ways. In addition to the essentials presented in each session, the training taught me to understand that going off plan was actually a blessing, that our Grant was a blessing. We had a new life now, and Mobilizing Families helped us create a new plan for our future. One of the greatest gifts I received from attending Mobilizing was the gift of friendship and a sense of community. I no longer felt alone. In one of the classes, we filled out a diagram to examine our own circles of support. We were taking inventory of the types of relationships we had in our lives. My circles primarily consisted of close family members and people that were paid to provide services in our life. I was short on friends, especially those who understood how our lives had changed. In the 3.5 years since I first came to the ARC for Mobilizing Families, my circle of support has changed dramatically. Sorry. Many of the moms that I sat with in class, they are still in my life today. Many of them are sitting in this room right now. These are the friends that I celebrate, dream, and cry with. They understand my world. They have no need to make comparisons, and they never require lengthy explanations. They know what a feeding tube and an ileostomy are, and why my sweet Grant needs them. When I signed up for Mobilizing Families to learn how to help Grant, I didn't realize how much I was actually helping myself. Mobilizing Families also taught me that the ARC is so much more than mobilizing families or the thrift stores that support them. I want you to know what the ARC means to me. The ARC advocates for all people with disabilities, the young and the old, no matter what your diagnosis is. They educate the public about our world. They know what legislation helps and hurts Grant. They want what is best for Grant. The ARC is a voice for thousands of people who may not have the ability to be a voice for themselves. This may sound silly, but I truly sleep better at night knowing that the ARC is on Grant's side. Grant is my everything, and because of all they do for people like Grant, the ARC is my cause of choice. Gary and I are now well aware that things do not always go according to plan. We also know that no matter what happens, there will be hope and there will be support because of the ARC and its selfless mission to enrich the lives of the countless Grants and their families throughout our community. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your belief in my cause and my Grant.